Hello everyone, welcome back to the shed. It's finally here, Rapido's 15XX pannier tank. Now just before we get to unboxing this, I'd like to point out, already Rapido have learnt from their, well not mistakes, but from their past experiences, because this is a lovely smaller box than their 16XX. You can see the size difference right there. And of course that's a little hint there, as I'm going to be comparing this to other products later in the video. So let's get it out. Nice little cutouts here so your fingers can grab the box. Pull the lid off nicely. A little bit of foam there. The instruction manual, I'm not going to read it to you. I suggest you read this yourself. It's always a good little read. I am going to need this because this is the sound fitted version. So we're going to be able to experience that. Classic ice cube packaging. A little bit of foam in there, I guess. I don't know what that's about. I suppose to protect the kettle pot, but hey ho. Oh, this is in two parts, okay, it's fine. Wow, that's nice and weighty. Cool. Oh, I see the foam sticks up in here, I guess, to protect some of the bodywork, I guess. Oh well, it's good to know that it's there. Just let it drop out into the thing. Oh, it's statically charged. It's immediately stuck to the plastic. Okay, close that up before we forget. Details. Fire irons, brake piping, some other odds and sods as well. Oh, and some screw link couplings as well, which are either mostly or all metal, which is very nice. So you've got those if you wish to fit them. Although, by the looks of it from here, this is already a detail-rich model. So, looks like we're off to a good start. Wow, I think the whole thing's statically charged. It just picked up a load of ballast. Go, tightly fits back into the foam. And the box is nice thick cardboard. No info on the back, I suppose. Just on the lid. Yep, cool. So, the model. It's beefy, it's very hefty, which is good for a pannier. You've got not too many wheels, you want a lot of weight because of course, well, this was used as a station pilot, so it's going to be hauling a large number of coaches out the station at a relatively low speed. So hopefully it will do that job very well and more. Underneath, it's black on black, doesn't work, there we go. Brake rigging is already there. Wall shot gearing looks really well done. The piping down here, come on, get in focus, there we go. The piping down here looks really nice. This is the trouble with black on black, it doesn't show up too well with the nice bright sunny day we're having. Bugger, there we go. Possibly a little glue mark down by the buffer, on the buffer beam. Not too noticeable, unless you've got it under the right light to see that. There is a part on the smokebox door that I know is usually in brass that is missing. I'm not bothered by that. Someone definitely is though. I can vouch for it right now. Someone's going to be pissed. Handrails are nicely applied. This piping along the top is really nicely done as well. Get it in focus and get it on camera, Richard. Jesus. This piping along here. I don't know if the real one's kettle pot is brass or not. I've only seen this logo about 3 times. Of course, this is the only preserved one. There are about 10 of them. 1501 is the sole survivor. Not from Fallout, of course. What about cab detailing? It's painted, I can see it. Gauges are painted as well. Very nice. Good attention to detail. Nice sizable bunker. The lining's done really nicely. Pipe work on this side is done very well as well. Along there. Work around the cylinders is incredible. The cylinder cocks are very intricate and they're really nice. They're already applied, so that's fantastic. Cylinder heads look really nice. Whistles are nicely done, painted up in brass. Can't see anything because there's no light on it. Trying to get a good angle. No. The copper chimney cap is not very... I mean, it definitely looks copper. It's definitely not metal, it's definitely painted on. It looks like the line isn't quite straight, I guess. It looks to be hand painted, if anything. Not printed. Which is interesting, I suppose. Depot location 81A, which makes sense. These were typically at Old Oak Common, though they did get away from the place every now and again. The usual slim tension lock coupling way of putting things in, with that weird triangle socket and the way it bounces back to the middle. Okay, very nice. And again, very nice weight to this thing. There we are, on the track. So next thing's next. DCC unisolate Road 3. It's not buzzing, that definitely means it's got a chip in it. So let's find the functions list. Here we are. If anyone wants to know the functions list, there it is. I'm not showing you any more of the instruction manual than that. So immediately we're going to test this on... I've just closed the book. It's near enough the centre page, so I don't care. Address number 3. So sound function 1. Oh look, it works. Now interestingly, you know what? I've just noticed something. That's, oh okay, that's very cool actually. Posable, like sliding, not windows in the side. I thought that was a manufacturer error. No, it's not. Now, back to what I was going to say. Interestingly, headlight function has been replaced with firebox glow, which I think is a perfect function to have for firebox glow on a steam loco. Because guess what? I'm not going to be running this while it's pitch bloody black. You know, I'm not going to be running it in the middle of the night. If I am, I'm sad, lonely, and I need to rethink my life. I'm going to be running this during the day. So if I do add lamps, I don't care if they're actually on. Okay, maybe a tail lamp, but the tail lamp's going to be on the end of the train, and there's other means of doing that. Anyway, firebox glow does in fact work. It's nice and bright. I'll get a close-up when I take the camera off the tripod. Function 2 is brake. So it sounds like a brake. Function 3 is a long whistle. Nice. What about short whistle? Cool. Function 5 is whistle special, and it notes stationary short toot moving brake whistle. So yeah, that is in fact the brake whistle. Guard's whistle on function 6 with acknowledgement whistle when released. Very nice. Train set mode. Train set mode will sharpen up the responses on your 15XX and make it much more reactive to throttle changes, allowing faster acceleration and deceleration. It's not prototypical, but some of you prefer it. Okay, so in terms of inertia, it can just basically remove the inertia. You can run it more like it's just a train set. You can just get it up to speed nice and quickly. That's fair enough. Function 8 is coupling, uncoupling. Yep. I'd also just like to note the firebox there came on automatically and shoveled coal. Speaking of, function 9. Okay, coal shoveling automatically puts on the firebox glow. Good stuff. Okay, option 10 now. We're getting onto the other list of functions. Injectors. Yep, that is in fact. Yep, that is in fact injectors. Option 11 is blower. Number 12 is safety valve. So hopefully the blower will stop in just a moment. Sounds about right for a safety valve, I think. 13 is drain cocks. Yep, very nice. Uh, 14 is water filling. Very nice. Cab door open close. I'm not going to do flange squeal because actually, you know what, sod it. No, I was going to say it's going to be speed dependent, so it's not going to work when the loco is stationary. Cab door open close on 16. Nice simple one. 17 is gauge glass blowdown. 18 is the handbrake, 19 is fade out sound, and 20 is shunt mode. There's the auto fireman again. So let's turn the sound off real quick. There we go. Now I'm just going to prove a point of how easy it is to program this thing. So this is set to address 3. So I'm going to do program. Program on the main. Loco is number 3. I'm going to do an address. It's going to be a long address. Address is going to be 1501 because that is in fact the running number. And there we are. And if I press 1, it works. Loco now has an address. So let's turn the sound off actually. Makes life easy if I do it that way. And flick up points and set the route. So we can see this thing running around the layout and see how quiet it is. So just going to move the camera right there. I'm going to give this 10 speed steps straight out of the gates. Now up to 20. 30, 40, 50. See how it deals with double slip. Deals with it just fine despite that short wheelbase. And deals with the curve point flawlessly. So as you can hear, or not, This is really smooth and really quiet straight from the box. This has not been run in. Looks really nice. You can see in the cab there that nice orange light from the firebox glow, so you don't have to be looking directly at it in order to know it's on. Lights up the whole cab, which is really nice. Let's see how it handles the first express points without issue. I've noticed even with this small wheelbase, it's not really knocking, like leading as it goes around the curves on the layouts, which is perfect. See that wall sharks gear there. Looking really nice as it goes round. How about another express point? Just for prosperity. Without issue. Perfect. Handles the triple point as if it's not even there as well. You may have just noticed there, the chuffs do not synchronize, or not properly synchronized to the wheel rotation, so that's something that Rapido have not done at the factory. You're going to have to do that yourself. I'm sure I can, or you, as well as myself, are going to be able to find which DCC chip they've used in this loco from the factory, if it doesn't specify it in the instruction manual. Then it's a case of fiddling with values on CVs at two different speed steps, at step 1 and at step 10 I believe, so you'll have to sort that out. So let's do a little haulage test, and of course an excuse to run this thing around the layout with the sound on. So let's change direction, take the brakes off. Have a look at the instruction manual because I can't remember. There we go, function 6. And take it away. Now for a haulage test, we're going to use 6 12-wheeler Pullmans from Hornby, which I think is sufficient if you're going to be running this as a little passenger hauling loco, or you're going to be running it with very light 4-wheeler wagons. I think this will be sufficient as a haulage test. So that is Rapido's 15XX. Just before we get on to the conclusion, I'd like to compare this to some other products. First of all, the Bachmann USA dock tank. Now, the only reason this is being compared is because of the possible inspirations this logo had on the 15XX. No running board and a very small wheelbase. I will note, however, the wheelbase on the USA dock tank is smaller than the 15XX. The detailing arguably is just as rich. The construction on Bachmann's USA dock tank is not as heavy. So not as much die cast construction. The next loco to be compared is Bachmann once again, the 94XX, because arguably this is a similar size. If I put bunker to bunker, they are basically the same size. The modifications I've made to this model is painting the kettle pots and changing the number and shed code. That is it. So I'd like to point out, this is cheaper than this, and it came with etched numbers. I was about to say nameplates. It came with etched brass numbers for the cab side, and it has a metal copper chimney top, which looks far better and shinier than Rapido's hand painted one here on the 15XX. So that's to note. And next as well, Rapido's own product, the 16XX. This was a model rail exclusive. I'll say well done to Rapido, learning on past experience. Yeah, you have reduced the box size. Brilliant. The box for the 16XX is way oversized. It also appears you've learnt your lesson with the tension locks, as they are not protruding from the body as much. However, I'm not sure if that's a symptom of trying to pack everything into the 16XX, because it does have a lower profile. And if I go bunker to bunker, it's actually shorter than the 15XX. So that's just of note. Detailing is still on par though, so well done lads. Next thing we're going to look at is pricing. So now we're getting to the conclusion. Directly from Rapido, £150 non-sound fitted, £250 sound fitted. Arguably they are going to be cheaper, not RRP, from people like Rails and Kerno and Hattons, because they can get them in bulk and still turn a profit even not selling it at RRP. Would I say one of these is worth £150? Just about. If you have been looking forward to this model for a long time, grab one up. If you're on the fence, maybe just pass it by, because £150 is a lot for a pannier tank. If you are a modeler and you're going to be hauling a lot of stuff around your layout and you're going to be tinkering away with it, sure, it's going to be worth that money. It's die cast, it's got a lot of hauling capabilities. If you're just a random modeler out there, I'd suggest maybe hold off. Maybe not get this. This is very detail rich, it's very heavy, it's meant to be the cream of the crop, I suppose, when it comes to panniers, because the detailing here is very rich. Again, I'm going to say this because really they should be optional extras, but they're the letdown for me. No etched cab side numbers. The copper chimney top isn't actually metal. Bummer. The good points here. This broken part on the front, if you're experiencing something similar to this, It's literally a part in the instructions saying if you've got a broken part, send it to us or use a little bit of PVA, be careful, and stick it on. So if I do find that part, I'm going to stick it on myself. If I don't find that part, I don't care, I'm going to keep it. It's a tiny, tiny part that, I mean, I can't even really bloody see it from here. I don't know if I mentioned it before, but the steps at the front here and at the back are really nicely done. But it's one of those sort of fragile moments of be careful when you're taking it in and out of the box. Because you're not going to want to break anything, of course. The firebox glow is really well done. It looks prototypical because it's lighting up the whole cab, and I think that's a perfect point. It should light up the whole cab, and it means you're not going to have to look directly at it into the cab in order to see that glow. You can look at that cab from any angle and know the firebox glow is on. Of course, it automatically does that as well because it automatically plays the coal shoveling noises. So when it does play those, the firebox glow comes on, because then it's as if the firebox is open. Now, would I recommend you get one of these sound fitted? If you're running a Western Region sound fitted or preserved sound fitted layout, yes. The sound profile is done really well. And it's got everything that you should need. You've got varying whistles, you've got firebox glow, you've got noises from the crew doing the coal shoveling and the water filling. You've got various noises from tinkering in the cab, like safety valves, drain cocks, blowers, injectors. You've also got guard's whistle, and when you turn that off, there's an automatic acknowledgement whistle that plays when you turn function 6 off. I'd say the only letdown with the sound is the chuffs aren't already synchronized to the wheel rotation, so I'm going to have to rectify that by looking into the CVs and changing them. It's a shame that wasn't done straight from the factory, because you'd think by now that should be resolved. You're selling a product to someone, it should already be done. It's a weird one, because you should already know what the wheel rotations are, and it's only going to be 2, to put it in quotes, chuffs per rotation. So while I'd recommend you, if you're thinking about a DCC fitted one, sound fitted one even, to pick one up, you are going to have to tinker with it a little bit to get the chuffs to match the wheel rotation. So overall, nice and weighty, really well detailed, able to haul a nice length train with absolute ease, smooth and quiet straight from the box. After this video I'm going to be running this in half an hour each direction, so it's only going to get quieter and smoother, I suppose. So if you're a die-hard fan of the Western Region and you've been waiting for this loco for quite a while, snap one up. If you're on the fence, maybe give it a miss, because the £150 price tag for a non-sound fitted model is quite steep. But what you are going to buy is a quality product that is mostly die-cast and very well detailed. In order to improve this model, I'd say get some etched cabside numbers, and possibly, I can't remember what the company was who did it last time, someone will make a crew specifically for this model, because that is what happened with the 16XX by Rapido. So I hope you all enjoyed the video. If you've got any questions about maybe the layout or this locomotive specifically, leave a comment. I'll look to reply. Now let's think about what's next on the pre-orders list. What will come next in terms of a review? Quarter 3 of 2023 now. Goodness, the year is flying by. We have the Kerno GWR steam rail motor, which is due Q3, but that could be anywhere up to November, I suppose. No, Q3 is July, August, September. So really it should be due now, or next month, hopefully. What else is in the pipeline? The leader locomotive is due by the end of the year, I believe, and so is the 4DD from KR Models. And I can't think of anything else that might be... Oh, yes I can. The Class 50 from Acura Scale, the 31 and the 89. I think the 31's due maybe early next year. I think so is the 50. And I don't know about the 89. I think the 89's in final livery sampling. Or it's just been through livery sampling and now they're going to early production. Anyway, pick one of those from the list and it will be the next review, I suppose. And that's of course an impulse makes me buy something that's been on my wish list long ago and has suddenly crept back into my head. So anyway, I hope you all enjoyed this video, and until the next time we're in the shed, goodbye.